Hey, during the commercial break, did you get up and go check out that jar of mayonnaise? Did you find the high fructose corn syrup like number 1 or number 2 on the ingredient list? You'll note that there's no sugar here, but we're going to end up with a real mayonnaise, the kind that you remember from your childhood. A little tart, very creamy, and a whole lot of delicious. And that's it. When you got the ingredients, 5 simple ingredients, you know you're off to a good start. So how does mayonnaise begin? Number 1, it begins with a single, solitary egg yolk. Yes, egg yolk. A lot of people think it's the egg white because mayonnaise turns white. I'll show you how that happens. In addition to that, this is just ground, dried mustard. You get that in the spice aisle there of your local grocery store. We're going to add some salt and some white pepper. I've got some kosher salt here, a little bit of white pepper, just a couple of pinches just to get us going. And to that, we added about a half of our vinegar and our lemon juice. Now, we start to whisk this together. Once we have all of those incorporated and our bright yellow is kind of turned into a lemony yellow, this is the hard part. This is the hardest part about making mayonnaise. Drizzling, that being the key word here, drizzling in the olive oil into the mayonnaise. Now I'm using olive oil for mine. You can use canola oil, you can use safflower oil. Any of the lighter flavored oils are going to work here. So this is just a basic variety olive oil. And by drizzle, this is what drizzle looks like. We're talking the slowest of streams. And in the beginning here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to add it almost drop by drop until our emulsification starts to thicken up. When you're about halfway down, remember we started with 1 cup of oil here, so when you're about halfway down, you'll note that the color starts to change from the brighter yellow, starting to get that white mayonnaise look. Now this is also the time where we're going to add the rest of our acid, which is the vinegar and the lemon juice. Remember, this is what makes mayonnaise have that tang to it. We'll stir that in, and then it's back to whisking and the rest of the oil. Slowly adding the oil. Continue to slowly add the oil to the very last drop. And don't forget the ice pack when you're done with all of this whisking. And there you go, look at that. You've got yourself homemade mayonnaise, very simple ingredients, creamy, tangy, more importantly, nice and tangy, and well seasoned. Hey, listen, this would be great on your turkey or your ham sandwiches, but that's just one facet of what mayonnaise can do. In addition to Thousand Island dressing, mayonnaise is also a base for some other condiments, like remoulade sauce. How about that? That goes great with po' boys. Or even, how about a pecan mayonnaise? What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? All right, it's time to assemble. This mayonnaise has a shelf life of about a week, but let's face it, how many bologna sandwiches are you going to use the mayonnaise on? Maybe you've got some other ideas, like maybe a po' boy, so let's make a remoulade. It starts with about 2 parts mayonnaise, and that part can be anything, from a spoon, just like I did, to 1 part ground and or grainy mustard. Also, a little bit of parsley, as well as some tarragon, gives it that nice licorice kick. That's some diced cornichon. If you don't have any cornichons, which are basically like little tiny pickles, you can also use the old standby pickle relish. That is sardine, capers, and we blend. A quick stir, let that rest for about an hour, and you've got yourself the perfect topping for a po' boy or even a muffaletta sandwich. Now there's also one that's pretty popular in the South, especially when it comes to okra, and it starts the same way. 1 part ground mustard to about 2 parts mayonnaise. Man, that worked out just right, didn't it? And this, we're going to add just a squeeze of some lemon. Get that in there, just a little taste of lemon, just to brighten up the flavor. And about 1 part to 2 parts of toasted, chopped pecans. And once it's all folded together, well blended, I think you can see where we're going with this condiment here. It's a crunchy, tangy, mayonnaise-y condiment that goes great with okra. As a matter of fact, this whole pecan mayonnaise came about because of a fried okra dish. The way that I like to use it around the house, roasted okra, or even roasted kale. You don't know roasted okra? You don't know roasted kale? Well, I'm smelling another episode of Culinary Nunnsense frying up as I speak, or at least in this case, roasting up as we speak. Look, we started off with 5 simple ingredients. It took a little bit of work, a little arm exercise, but we whipped up a mayonnaise. One that's fresh, one that you made. And I think that if you start to combine those 5 simple ingredients, your egg yolk, your oil, your vinegar, your salt and your pepper, and your lemon, I think you two will be saying, when it comes to mayonnaise, when it comes to your sandwich and your special spread, there is none better.